Hi, my name is Dave Rader. I'm the head of the Department of Mathematics here.
I'm Megan Hyman. I'm a statistician in the math department. I'm also a Rose-Hulman grad from 2008. I had a math major when I was at Rose.
So just some information about us. We do house two different majors, a mathematics major and a biomathematics major. We share responsibility for our data science second major program with computer science and software engineering. We're also a heavy player in our computational science second major, and we house 5 different minors that you could participate in.
Lots to do in the math department.
There is.
Even going ahead and starting off with that, are there any other majors you think should be paired with mathematics? Should it be alone? What's kind of your recommendation as far as double majoring goes?
So, yes, mathematics is designed as a program to easily allow our students to double major. Common ones that we see are with computer science and physics. But at the same time, we've had double majors from all majors across campus. Uh, Civil engineering, electrical, computer engineering, chemistry, biology, biomedical engineering, mechanical. There's been somebody who's double majored and been very successful in doing so, both in the classroom and in their job prospects. Uh, Doing a second major really does enable students, whether math is your first major or your second major, to get opportunities that you may not otherwise have.
All right. Got a lot of questions coming in, all in a similar breath, wanting to know what can you do with math, and even maybe throw in biomathematics. What kind of jobs is this going to prepare you for and lead you to?
Sure. So within our math major, you could take different tracks or concentrations, statistics being one of them. So going into the field of statistics, Dr. Hyman and Dr. Reyes, our two statisticians, have been really great at preparing our students not only for that first job, but also graduate level work in statistics. Uh, Doing any other sort of data analysis, be it in a data science oriented field. We have a number of students who, in the last 6, 7 years, graduated with a math degree, went into more data science oriented fields without necessarily having the major. We didn't have the program at that time, and have been highly successful in doing so. We've sent students for actuarial careers. We've sent students to places like Intel or Amazon to do a variety of analytics type work. About 40% of our graduating students every year go on to graduate school, either getting a master's degree or a PhD in some mathematics oriented field. It doesn't have to be just pure or applied mathematics. It could be in financial mathematics or in computational mathematics or operations research or statistics. Really, our students have done very well once they've graduated from here. From biomathematics, same deal. Our program is really one of the very few programs in biomathematics at an undergraduate level in the country. And those students that we graduate are highly sought after, both from graduate schools, but also in different types of fields. Some of them have gone on to work as analysts at Eli Lilly, concentrating more on the biology aspect of it. We've had students go into veterinary science as a part of their program. So it really is a broad based program that allows for a lot of different opportunities.
There are a couple people who are wondering if we could clear up maybe what biomathematics specifically is.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a different than your typical math. So could you explain that maybe a little bit?
Yeah, let me give you a try. So biology is the last of the hard physical sciences, if you think of chemistry, physics, that realize that their fundamental problems are mathematical in nature. We saw this, 15, 20 years ago when trying to understand protein folding. We saw this during the pandemic when we were trying to model the spread of COVID and other infectious diseases. You see this in studies, for example, of trying to figure out why jet lag occurs, right? If there's not a scientific, a biological description that someone in the medical profession or the health sciences can answer, they may rely on more mathematical models to try and figure out and predict what would happen, and then target their biological research based off the mathematical model. So in this sense, biomathematics is really about taking the essence of mathematics and some of the subspecialties within mathematics, some of the computational work, some of the statistical and probabilistic thoughts, and crafting them around a stronger biology background to really tie the two things together.
All right, thank you. Looks like somebody wants to know maybe some classes that might best prepare them coming into our math majors. So they specifically mentioned Calc 1, but is there anything you think they should be doing to prepare themselves best?
I think Calc is a great start. Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3 are required for every major here at Rose. We also have some form of differential equations required for our students. If they have access to a college campus and are advanced in math, seeing linear algebra, that would be great. Probability, even some exposure to statistics could be helpful. I would also add in if they have a chance at taking some computer science classes, that would be helpful.
Yeah. And I'll piggyback on this because I'll tell Dr. Hyman's background. Just not everyone has the opportunity to take courses like calculus in high school. And coming to Rose, even if you're not a mathematics major, you can be still highly successful in that regard. Dr. Hyman was first here. Her first class was with me, and she'd not had any calculus exposure in high school. Pre-calculus was the highest she ever saw, but she had a really strong background in that. And from there, she was able to build upon that foundation, be really successful in the classroom. And now we're happy to have her back with us as another one of the success stories.
And it also brings us to, I hear this at college fairs, of course, but people who, want to get into this field, but maybe they've had some bad experiences against math. So do you think, obviously as long as they make it through the admissions process, do we have anything in place that would help them kind of boost up and get their skills maybe up to par of maybe what's expected?
So in the summer, in the past few summers, what we've asked our incoming students, to take an online assessment of their pre-calculus background. And that's really the foundation, right? Being able to be knowledgeable, strong in your pre-calculus is important, even if you've never seen calculus before and it's going to be the first time you come in, or if you've had exposure to calculus in high school but maybe didn't earn any credits through an AP or college course. It really is that strong pre-calculus background that you should focus on. That being said, we do run a 2-week sort of bridge type program in the summer, a couple weeks right before you arrive officially on campus. It's called Rose Prime, and it's a way to strengthen that background in pre-calculus. Typically, we target only those students who haven't seen calculus in high school, because those are the ones that may not have had the opportunities to really strengthen that background while they're in high school. We also have a Calc ABC sequence, which that Rose has 3 quarters per year, so it's standard progression in mathematics for a student who comes in with no mathematics credit is to take Calc 1 in the fall, Calc 2 in the winter, and Calc 3 in the spring. And for some students, that may be a little too fast-paced. Our Calc 1, when I talk with students, we do in 10 weeks what your Calc AB course would do in a full year. So for those students whose background may not have been as strong or are not feeling as comfortable with their background, we offer the opportunity, space provided, as long as space is limited, uh, to take this new sequence, which does the first two courses in calculus, so Calc 1 and Calc 2, over 3 terms instead of 2. Now, that does put you slightly behind in your traditional mathematics sequence, but there are ways of getting past that. Uh, we offer an online summer Calc 3 course that you could take. Uh, Students who don't do that uh, may take a Calc 3 course somewhere else during the summer. And oftentimes they're able to transfer those credits in, or even just taking Calc 3 the following fall. A number of our students do this. Still allows you the possibility of graduating within your 4 years.
All right, awesome. So kind of still on our curriculum, does the department focus on looking at emerging trends or what is needed in the workforce, and what kind of, maybe in the same breath, do we have any unique courses or experiences that kind of set us apart?
So I think the answer to this is yes. We have a very large department, meaning we have a lot of different expertise spread through our faculty, and that allows us to offer a lot of different topics classes in all areas of math. Students that are even really interested in math can talk to a faculty member and say, I want to learn about this topic. I don't see any classes in the catalog for whatever topic. And the faculty may be able to offer a special topics course for them to learn something outside the curriculum.
Yeah, in addition, in probably in the last 5, 6 years, we've started offering routine courses as part of, well, it started out as courses and then grew into the second major in data science, but courses in machine learning, deep learning, data mining. We partner with our computer science software engineering faculty to run these courses every year. So mathematics faculty and a computer science software engineering faculty member teach them. Last 2 years, one of our math faculty have actually been offering a course in generative AI. So some of the mathematics behind your LLMs, your large language models, like ChatGPT. All right, so that students can understand how to operate them, how to construct them, how to deal with them. Uh, and these are just brand new that we've been able to do. We've offered courses in financial mathematics when there have been students who have been interested, as well as some really deeper level theoretical mathematics classes. Especially in the last couple of years, we've had a large student interest, and we've been able to find the time and the faculty who are able to do this, as Dr. Hyman had mentioned. It's a very common practice within our department.
And would that also include the possibility of being an actuary? There's a student who is curious in being an actuary.
Yes, so I think that Rose is well set up for students that have interest in STEM and maybe are thinking about actuary. We have VEE, which is validation by external examination, I believe, set up for, I think, we're almost at all of the different types of credits that you need. Our probability class that the math department offers helps prepare students for the first actuarial exam. We have economics classes at Rose that tie really closely to the second and third actuarial exams. We've had a student just in the last couple years that passed, I think, 3 exams before they left and went on to be an actuary.
Yeah. And we have a program set up that, if you take one of the actuarial exams and you pass it, you bring us the receipt, we will refund the entire payment for you.
That does not sound like a bad gig.
No, it is not.
Dr. Hyman, something specifically for you, since you are a former student, now faculty member, that's obviously going to come up. Can you talk, in experiences may be different for students now, but could you talk about the exact rigor of Rose and maybe even get into the hours on average people study? What should they expect as far as a workload?
So, I mean, as my ex-teacher sitting here, Rose is definitely takes commitment in terms of, like, I feel like organizing yourself and your time is a really important thing for students. You can be really intelligent and still have a little bit of a shock coming to Rose because classes move at such a rapid rate. I kind of feel like it's a fast marathon the entire year while we're going through these classes. 10 weeks for an entire class is quite a lot. Um, when I was a student, I liked to have classes in the morning, and I would tend to be done with work at a reasonable time. Um, I also had a life on the weekends where I wasn't just working all weekend on homework, partly because I organized my time so that I didn't leave things to Sunday night to work on them, but um, I wasn't just playing the whole time. I was working here.
So kind of with that, maybe if someone is worried about the rigor and the hours, with the math department specifically, could you talk about how accessible you all are? If there's a question, if maybe you know what kind of your student faculty ratio is. Admissions gives an overall one, of course, but maybe if you could speak to more of the specifics to your department.
Sure. So it becomes vital, especially those first year courses, our calculus, our Calc 1, 2, and 3, and perhaps even our first differential equation courses for students who've really come in with a lot of advanced credit. What we try and do, and it's especially true in our Calc 1 course, we try and keep class sizes in the 22 student range. This past year, in fact, we were able to do this where all of the classes in Calc 1, I believe, were under 20 students. So that gave you a lot of opportunity to interact with your professor, and they're always welcoming, to have you come into their office and talk. I know with Calc 2, we were probably in the 22 to 23 student per section up range, probably similarly for Calc 3. And we try and maintain this pretty much throughout the year as much as possible. We may get a little bit bigger throughout, into the spring term for a variety of reasons. But really, it's an opportunity. The classes are small enough, right? Even a class of 25 may not seem like a lot of people, especially if you're comparing us to some of our larger contemporaries, where you may be seeing, lecture halls of 300. We don't do that. Our faculty, the office doors are constantly open, and students are often able to come in, find their professor. We have a couple professors who do their office hours online, so they'll meet up via Teams. Everything will be set up so that they can interact pretty reasonably with the students, share problems through various technologies. And some of our faculty, although this is not very common, will do this into the early evening. So it doesn't necessarily, depending upon your faculty member, end at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. I wouldn't necessarily expect that, and I'm not necessarily encouraging that, because you want your faculty members to have a life and have energy when they meet with you during the day. But there are some who say, nope, that's how I best work. And they've had really successful interactions with the students.
Yes, I can't say enough about the faculty myself. We have a whole presentation slide for you guys, so very important here when you're at Rose. So kind of reverting back to, I guess you'd say, courses, we have a few people who are very advanced in math right now and are expected to take all the way through Calc 3 before they come to college. So how does the acceptance of these credits work? The transferring of them, what does it mean for them when they first start here as a freshman? Could you dig into a little bit of that?
Yeah, so let's start with the easiest part of that answer, because it is multi-aread. First off, if you have a 4 or a 5 on the AP calculus exam, either the AB exam or the BC exam, you will earn credit for at least one of the calculus courses. If you have a 4 or 5 on the AB, you earn credit for Calc 1 and you have the opportunity to start in Calc 2 when you first arrive. If you earned a 4 or 5 on the BC exam, you earn credit for Calc 1 and Calc 2. And can start in Calc 3 when you arrive here on campus. There's obviously no AP course or test for Calc 3, so it's just those two. If you took your calculus course through a college, either dual credit or took the classes on the college campus, then we have to be a little bit more careful. If the course was taken, even with dual credit, if it was taken in your high school and not in a collegiate environment, either on a college campus or online with a college instructor, you will earn general mathematics credits, but you won't earn credits for a calculus course. So those credits can be used to satisfy free elective requirements for any of the majors. That being said, but if you have if you've taken a class online with a college professor or on a college campus, then I will ask during the summer, have someone from the school. It could be the professor, it could be the registrar from your college, it could be your guidance counselor who can verify that the course was taken on the college campus. And at that point, you would earn credit for the corresponding calculus course. If that doesn't work for you, we offer credit exams when you first arrive here on campus. So you take a 2-hour exam, you have the opportunity, if you do sufficiently well, to earn credit for a course you didn't have credit for, and you can move on. Now, that being said, you can't take the Calc 3 exam, for example, if you haven't already earned credit for Calc 1 and Calc 2. So it's got to be progressive in that regard.
All right. And kind of an intriguing question, but somebody is asking about and a little concerned with student experience maybe. If you do test in the high level courses, does that kind of take you off a weird course from your typical freshman class? Really what they're asking is there any concerns? Oh, it just disappeared. I'm so sorry. Where'd it go? There we go. Is there any concern for these students who are placing into high level courses? Do they kind of lose ties with their freshman cohort? Or
No, in fact, so this past year, for example, we had 6 sections of Calc 3 and 6 sections of Calc 2 offered in the fall for our incoming students. So anticipating that's over, roughly 120, 130 students in each of those courses, we're talking 30, 40% of the incoming class. So you're already connected with a large percentage of your cohort by placing in that way. At the same time, you are going to be interacting with students in your physics classes, perhaps in your chemistry or your biology, in your humanities, social science, and the arts classes. Perhaps you have them in your first year writing seminar. Maybe it's some other elective that you're taking. You're not going to be singled out. You're not going to be ostracized or separated at all from your cohort, your other students coming in. You're actually going to be part of a group that is pretty common around here. And that also holds true if you just start in Calc 1. I mean, roughly 50% of our students start in Calc 1 their fall term. So there's no penalty in that case either.
Awesome. And actually, reverting back to the classes, just briefly, because another question came in about them, about incoming courses. Mm-hmm. When it comes to differential equations and linear algebra, do those work the same as when you're evaluating calculus classes as well?
They do, but what we do is when we evaluate each of the classes to see whether they can transfer in, we need to make sure that they match pretty much what we teach. For a Calc 1, a Calc 2, and even a Calc 3 course, that's typically not a concern. Now, most college calculus courses are pretty consistent. The differential equations course is a little different. Our first differential equations course is a combination of a differential equations and a basic matrix algebra course. Not everyone offers it that way. So some students will take a differential equations course, and what they'll take is a few topics that match with our first course and a few topics that match with our second course, but neither course is fully covered by the course they're trying to transfer in. So at that point, they get general credits for it. Now, if you've had multiple cases of this, we've had a number of students who've come in, they've been advanced enough, they've taken a differential equations course, they've taken a linear algebra course, and I can pair those up because you've seen the material, you get credit for our first differential equations course, and maybe a second course that's more general credits. But we really try and work, if you have a college level mathematics class that is at calculus or higher, we will, if you've earned credit for it, meaning you've earned a C or better in the course and you're trying to transfer it in, you generally will get credit for that course. It may not necessarily be for the calculus or for the differential equations course, but you will get credits that you can use towards your degree so that you don't have to take that extra course when you're here, or perhaps more importantly, you just freed up a block where you can take an exciting, some advanced class that you may not have had the opportunity to take otherwise.
Yeah, we understand we have a lot of hardworking high school students, so our faculty want nothing but the best, and obviously want to work in your favor as best as possible. So we are kind of wrapping up here. Dr. Rader, Dr. Hyman, do you guys have any final thoughts?
No, I think, the questions tonight have been really great. The idea of making sure that you're prepared, from a mathematics perspective, everyone on campus, because I'm assuming that, some of you out there are looking to be engineers or scientists or computer scientists. You're going to have to take at least 5 or 6 mathematics classes while you're here. So being prepared, getting yourself ready, being strong in your pre-calculus skills, regardless of how many additional mathematics classes you've taken, are always important to do. And at the same time, as Dr. Hyman had mentioned, coming in organized, being ready to study, getting good study habits. That is what makes our students as successful as they are, and especially that first year.
All right. I think that's a perfect stamp. So thank you all for attending our chats tonight, and thank you so much to our faculty members for taking the time.